Good day, everybody. Vic here from V Drive, bringing it to you. 2025 Nissan 400Z, the car that you may have forgotten about, but let me tell you this: it's an absolute fun car. Spent about 10 hours with this car, drove all around the places there, and had so much fun. Let's just get right into it. Come to the front right here. Look at the cool-looking design on top of the hood right here. Now, it's a plain hood, and right in here you have the indentation that shows that there is some good engine that's packing under the hood. My question to you is, would you take this vehicle over a Supra 2.0? In my opinion, I'm going to prove it to you because that specific 2.0 has 4 cylinders and this one has a lot more. Let's get to that. We have the full LED lights at the front end. They changed the facelift a few years ago. Obviously looks pretty cool, projector lamps, all that kind of stuff. No fog lamps, but you know what? This strip right here is gonna just help you just right. You have the front nose dive right here with the updated Nissan badge. Looks pretty cool. Longer nose, just like one of your uncles there too. I'm just joking. You have the blacked out grille at the front end, and you have the sensors right in between, which looks pretty cool. Part of your cruise control, you have the radar system right here, and you have all the passage behind this grille, so your engine, your intercoolers, and all those things can get enough air while driving. Not a lot of space underneath the front splitter right here, the front lip, but you know what? It's just enough if you want a car which you can drive around the city and once in a while take it on the track, and you'll be just fine with that. Now, there was a time when the Nissan 400Z or the 350Z didn't have any of the safety features, but this specific one has automatic braking as well, even though it's going to be a little tricky when you're driving a manual transmission. But you know what? You'll still be fine. Come down here, right here, you have these pretty sticky tires. You have 245s, 45 R18s on this specific one, and you have the aluminum brushed 5-spoke wheels, disc brakes, as you can see. Looks pretty cool. With the Nismo package, however, you're going to have a little bit different looking design, and the tire shape will be slightly bit different as well, but that will save it for some other day. Now, this color is called the metallic blue. Looks pretty cool. I would more like a bright blue, I mean to say, right? Same shape that it represents the OG 350Z, and it still kind of looks like an old school Porsche with all that fastback portion here. You have the Z sign right here. You have this aluminum strip right here too, and no remote starter in this specific one, being in manual, and only 53 grand in price, still about 10 grand cheaper than a Supra. But you do have a keyhole here, which still represents the OG, and there is a button here for keyless entry, which is pretty cool. And the grab door to open the door is pretty simple as well. And one big thing, frameless doors, right? What do you think about that, right? Side skirt looks pretty cool. Top portion is blue, bottom portion is black. Of course, a thicker plastic material in case, you know, you're a curb queen or a curb king, you know, all that kind of stuff. Come to the back right here. It's a hatchback style. As you can see, you have this whole back that just goes a slant design. The rear window, the rear mirror has the wires to keep your rear defog on, and you have the light right here for your brake lighting too. At the back you have the Nissan badge, of course your cool looking tail lamps here, Z badge right here too, and of course your rear bumper with your sensors and dual set of exhaust, and it sounds really nice, and we'll try to show you that in the clip there too. By the way, shout out to the LA Nissan in Leduc for lending us this vehicle. They have one of the biggest inventory in Edmonton, and they're one of the nicest people to deal with too. If you want a connection over there who can help you out with all your Nissan needs, even in service, you know, let me help you with that, no problem, okay? Now, press the button right here. This is how you open up your hatchback space here, right? There's a plenty of space. Now, even though it's a car, you know, where you can't really fit people at the back, but imagine if you have one kid just with you traveling, you can still put like an anchor right here. If you'll point right here, you have an anchor here. You can put a car seat and you can anchor right here, which is pretty cool. Not a lot of space, but you know, this is just enough where you can go to groceries and you can still pack your things. Now, let's just get to the vehicle engine portion, because that's where all the interest matters actually. All right, here it is. Now, there is a reason why it's cheaper than the Supra. I'll have to admit that, because you know what? There is no struts to keep the engine up. You're still using the old school stick right here, but underneath the hood it's packing twin turbo 3-liter V6 that's putting out 400 horsepower and about 380 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot better option when you're spending about 10 grand less than a 2.0 Supra. Of course, Supra will have leather seats and a few other options, but you know what? After all, we are after speed and a performance. 0 to 100, this vehicle can go under 4.5 seconds, whereas Supra is 5 seconds. And it sounds really nice too, which we'll show it to you later in the video there too. And it's about 300 pounds heavier than a Supra as well. But you can get really cool deals on this, so you can definitely forget about all those things. Now let's just get inside the interior. I want to point out a few nice things before we go for a drive, because there are some nice things inside too. All right, these are the seats that you get in this vehicle, cloth seats, buckets, and these are fully manual. Your mats has a Z sign on it too. At the entry, you have a sill plate that has a Z sign there too, power windows, power mirror, all that kind of stuff. And one big thing is, because one of the AC vents on this one, AC comes right on this portion, enters right here, and this AC vent blows right on top of your face, which is pretty cool too. Folks, if you're new to the channel, make sure you don't forget to subscribe, because I don't want to miss you in my next videos. Now let's get to the drive of this vehicle. Before I even start driving, I want to explain it to you with my camera that I have strapped on my forehead here, the visibility of the vehicle overall. This is what you'll be seeing when you'll be driving this vehicle. Not a lot of blind spots. Yes, it's a sports car, so you'll have some issue looking onto your side, because that little window on the side right here is pretty small, but overall it's pretty cool. Now let's just start driving so we can discuss a few more things here too, right? It feels really cool. Not specific noise cancellation that Nissan have done to this vehicle, because why do you even really need it? Because you want to hear your turbos, the exhaust and all those things. You actually want to experience this car, and that is actually a big thing. For suspension, they haven't really done anything too crazy on this one. You have independent suspension at the front. Yes, you do have some sort of a dampeners at the back of the vehicle, but they are just enough for you to perform the things that you want to perform, which is a little bit of a drag, a little bit of a drifting there during the lap time and all that kind of stuff, but nothing too crazy here. Comfort, I would say it's about 8 out of 10. Cloth seats, no heated option there. Not that I really care, but some of you might do. And of course, these seats are a little bit hard, but you know what? It's okay for when you spend about 50 grand on a vehicle. That's kind of expected. Obviously, when you compare it to a Supra, you'll have more comfort in terms of suspension there and the noise cancellation, but you're also going to spend 10 grand more on that vehicle, which is not as much fun. Now let's just talk about the performance, because that's why we are here for, right? Power feels really great, actually. Look at this. It just goes. Like, no issues. There is no lag. Turbo sounds great. Power feels great. And it actually pushes you to the back of the seat, because that's the whole purpose when you buy a car like this, actually. And that one big thing I'll have to talk about, this transmission, it feels so real and it feels so old school, actually. And it's just, the shift is so crisp, I would say, you know. And some of the newer vehicles don't really have that old school feeling. It still feels that, you know, I'm driving a newer engine, which this one does have, and it has an older transmission of a previous 350Z, and which is the case actually with the 350Z transmission that's installed into this one, right? But it feels really cool. 6-speed manual, right? Wow, look at this. It just shifts cool. Just a real feel when you drive one of these cars here. Now obviously, if you are looking at this car in 2025, there are not many options that you'll find. You'll have a Ford Mustang that's gonna have a similar power with the V8, or you can have one of these guys with the twin turbo V6, but a little more fun and with the turbo noise too. Now let's just try to have a little speed run on this one. There we go. Oh my God. You actually don't know how fast you're going when you're driving one of these cars here. Woo! Look at this. I can drive this thing all day long. Whoa! It's so much fun. Sorry guys, I get excited when I drive any of the manual cars. Even though the car that I have, it's pretty fun to drive, but driving a manual is just real world experience. Or even one of these Tacomas with a manual is so much fun. But you know what? Nissan 400Z is just a pure experience. Your turbo gauges, you can see all that there. How heavy your pedal is, the RPM, the C signs everywhere. It's pretty cool there, right? Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think you like about this vehicle in terms of the power, or is it the styling, or is it the minimum option that you have? Because I'm pretty sure some of you are just like me. You don't really care too much about the option as long as you can have a lot of fun driving a car. There's a real person feel with the shifting to every small thing there, right? But yeah, let me know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you regarding this. And as I said, don't forget to subscribe. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. And drop a comment below if you ever got a chance to drive one of these guys. And let me know your thoughts too. See ya.